Hi, I'm Krista Newman, back with more on preventing violence against children. As always on the show, we aim to be thought-provoking, and we want you to think about how you relate to the children in your life. As always, we share compelling personal stories with you. We talk to experts for their views on preventing violence against children. Today's issue is parenting. You might be a parent, but are you parenting your child? This show might make you squirm if you are a parent, but that's a good thing. We want you to think about how you are raising your child, how we are raising our children in society today. Parenting is a process of promoting and supporting the social, physical, emotional, and intellectual development of a child from infancy all the way to adulthood. Welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us. Today I'm with Mrs. Jane Semugoma of Namirembe Infants Primary School. She is a headmistress, and she's here today to talk to us about parenting, how important the role of parenting is, and how it can work hand in hand with teachers and administrators of schools. You're very, very welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
Now, when it comes to parenting, a lot of people feel that today parents are letting down their children and they're not doing quite as much as they should. In fact, some people say they're completely ignoring their role and leaving it to schools. What's your take on that?
Well, I feel it is not proper for these parents to bring nursery children in boarding section because the parent is the first teacher in the home.
Okay.
The parent is the first teacher, and then the teachers, they are just additional teachers. It is the parent who has to shape the child the way he or she wants him to be. And of course, since parents are role models, the child grows up emulating what you do. But if you don't give the child that chance of keeping with you to see how people behave in a home, and you let the child go to the school to emulate very many other people, I think there is a big challenge there.
Like you said, I think it's even a bit confusing because in a school you have
very many parents. All teachers are parents. The matrons are parents. The matron is saying this, the teacher is saying this, the other children are saying this, the dormitory prefects are saying this. The child gets confused. But in the home, the child emulates the parent. If a child can grow up seeing that people don't quarrel, when he has never seen a mother quarreling with a father, they learn to share in a home. If they see that in their home there's sharing, there's love, there is caring, and the child has to help the mother and the father, all that. I feel the child needs to keep in a home before going to a nursery, especially during primary section.
That is much better.
Yes.
What are some of the ways that you feel that parents are actually neglecting their children? Are there any particular things that they are supposed to do in your expertise?
These days, you see that very many boarding schools have cropped up. Possibly, I don't know, I wonder whether it is because the parents are busy or whether it is a business, or it might be that we have neglected our responsibilities. We produce children and we take them to other people to care for them in the schools. There's a lot of negligence whereby a teacher and the matrons cannot shape your children in the right manner because there are too many. There are too many parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this is where I appeal to parents, the young parents, to keep with their children in the home until maybe secondary education.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time and for your expertise. And I think we will learn more from you in time. Thank you again.
Shy boy meets confident hare. Everybody in his family called him Shy Baby. Now, to be sure, the tag Shy Baby followed him to school, where his peers called him the same. Young Jonah was shy, but not just a little shy. He was very, very, very shy. When guests came to his house for tea or dinner and asked him his name, Jonah would dig his chin into his neck and close his eyes. And after a few minutes, he would run out of the room. His parents always felt embarrassed about his weird behavior. And every time, after the guests left the house, Jonah would be sure to get a sound scolding. And so his father or mother, whoever it was first, would lash out. His older sister would giggle and teasingly chant, "Shy baby, shy baby. You're 7 years old now. You're not a baby any longer. Why can't you answer when you're asked your name?" His father asked after the latest guests had gone. In school, Jonah spoke only when he simply had to speak. He preferred to sit at the far end of the classroom so the teacher might not spot him. You know these things. More often than not, when he was asked a question, he would pretend he was sick and wriggle his way out of answering. The teachers had grown tired of his shyness and usually left him alone. His family grew tired of his shyness and left him alone. Everybody left Jonah alone and became a very, very lonely little lad. So, as you can see, life was difficult for Jonah. His family didn't understand the reason for his incredible shyness, and in fact, neither did Jonah. Every night as he lay in bed, he prayed that he should be able to overcome this terrible shyness. And every morning, when he awoke, he discovered that he was still the same old shy Jonah. He wished he could be more like his sister. Benna was full of life and chattered away all day long like a chatterbox. Everyone liked Benna, but everyone left Jonah alone. One day, as Jonah and Benna were returning from school, Jonah decided to take the longer way through the woods, and he split his way from Benna and his friends. Now Benna was as usual, was busy chatting and never noticed that Jonah was not with them any longer. He disappeared. The woods became thicker and the sun went into hiding behind the heavy curtain of leaves. Jonah liked this part of the woods. It was always quiet and cool here with nobody around to bother him. He put his school bag down and sat in the shade of a cluster of jacaranda trees. He thought for a moment about how angry his mother would be with him for coming back alone and late from school. But then he shut the thought out of his mind. He wanted to enjoy the beauty of the woods and not think of anything else. That was Jonah. A squirrel charged past him, almost running over his shoes. Jonah chuckled. A hare hopped around him, nibbling busily at the green leaves of potato plants. He thought he would practice speaking to the hare, so he cleared his throat and said very slowly and softly, "Hello, my name is Jonah." He heard his own voice so seldom that it always sounded strange to him. He continued, "I live in the village of Mitimito. My house has a big compound. He wasn't really thinking. He was just saying anything that came to his mind. And my father's a lumberjack. Suddenly, he heard a sharp, confident voice. Yes, 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 yes. I know all about you. Stop introducing yourself. Jonah shut up and looked around. He narrowed his eyes and looked through the trees, but there was no one around. He was worried now. He had heard about animals that hide and lurk about the woods. He picked up his bag and was about to dash off when the same sharp voice called out, wait, 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 wait. I want to talk to you. Where are you? Jonah asked quickly. Here, silly you. Jonah looked down around him and saw the hare nibbling at a carrot. Well, well, a talking hare? Jonah was delighted. He immediately thought of taking it home and keeping it in a nice cage. Oh no, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You little menace. You're not going to keep me in a hutch, in a cage. I'm a hare. I live here in a simple nest above the ground. The trees are my shelter. The gardens are my playground. I'm not going to be made a prisoner in some cage. Jonah was amazed. He had heard about talking parrots before, but never hares. That smoke spoke more than a few sentences. This hare is really special, he thought to himself. Listen, my name is Polo the Hare. You know what that means? He asked. It means I'm free. Anyway, the point is I can help you if you help me. Jonah thought about this. How would Polo the Hare help him? And how could Jonah help him? Yes, 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 yes. I know what you're thinking. How can this little hare help me? I'll tell you how, my friend. You are shy, right? Jonah nodded, even more amazed now. Okay, so here's what we can do for each other. If you keep talking to me, you'll stop being shy. That is how I will help you. You, in turn, will get your father and his neighbors to stop chopping down the trees in this part of the woods. If they chop down all these trees, we will lose our homes, and then I won't be here any longer. It sounded like a good idea to Jonah. The plan was for Jonah to meet Polo every day in the woods for the next 1 week. During that time, Jonah would talk to Polo and try to rid himself of his shyness. They parted company, and Jonah walked back home, thinking all the while about this remarkable hare, his new friend. His mother was at the door of their house, waiting with a cane in her hand. Jonah knew that he would be spanked with a cane, but it didn't matter much to him. He was excited to worry about the canes. The next afternoon, Jonah found his way to the same cluster of jacaranda trees as planned. And, sure enough, Polo was there. This time, he was resting on his side, humming a little song. He really was a fun little hare, and Jonah couldn't help but laugh. What is it? Never had a hare sing before? No, answered Jonah, still laughing. I haven't. Look, isn't this super? You just talked to me. Polo clapped his hands together, and so their conversation started from that day onwards. Soon Jonah realized that Polo was doing all the listening while Jonah was doing all the talking. Jonah was thrilled. It was a dream come true. Now he too would be like Bena, his sister. And he too would have friends. At long last, he would not be called shy baby anymore. And so the week was coming to an end. At home, Jonah's parents had noticed the change in him, and they were thrilled to see their young son talking to visitors and chatting with the neighbors' children. They wondered how this tremendous change had come about, but this did not ask John about it. On the last day, Paula asked Jonah whether he had spoken to his father about not chopping down the trees. Jonah promised he would. He then thanked Paula. As Jonah was turning to go, Paula said, "Remember, friend, if you don't keep your promise, you will become shy again." Well, Jonah returned home, wondering how he would get his father to stop chopping down the trees. He knew that talking to his father wouldn't make any difference, and if he told his family that Parrot had requested them to stop the felling of the trees, they would just think him crazy. Late that night, Jonah went into the shed at the back of his house and picked up the axe his father used to chop wood with. He then jumped to the wall and took the axe from the neighbor's house as well. He collected all the axes from all the houses and took them to a field where he buried them. The next morning, there was chaos in the village. All the axes were gone. All of them disappeared. Everyone asked everyone else if they had seen the thief, and no one could solve the mystery. One of the elders of the village spoke up and he said, "It is the spirit of the forest. She doesn't want you to kill her trees any longer. The creatures of the forest suffer when they lose their homes. Don't cut another tree or else you might anger her." Now, the village folk agreed and said the old man was right. They would not cut down any more trees. Wow. Jonah was happy. He had kept his promise. Polo would remain free, and Jonah would never, never be shy again.
Today I'm with Mrs. Catherine Ruhweza, the founder and CEO of the Mama Tendo Foundation, and she's popularly known as Mama Tendo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Crystal.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Yes. Now, there's a common complaint today that people are having children. They're becoming parents, but they're not parenting their children. And this has come from a lot of teachers as well. They feel that we are abandoning our role and our responsibilities as parents, and we expect schools to raise our children. Where are we going wrong?
I think, for me, the question goes back to the time before two people decide they're going to have a child. What do they plan for those children? Because my view of the family is like a small organization. Actually, a family is an organization. Just because it's not branded like a big corporate organization. So we look at this organization and we see that they are children, in that organization. And the parents actually have to plan how this organization is going to run smoothly, what skills they're going to impact, just like an organization thinks of skills they're going to impart, and skills, attitudes they want their employees to have, I have a friend of mine in HR who says, don't hire skill, hire attitude. So parents have to look at this small organization and look at the children and say, what skills do they need? What attitudes do they need to become the successful adults? So if they have this in mind, just like we plan for organization, they have to have the end in mind. That means they have to see this little Tendo grown up being a CEO before actually he becomes a CEO. Mm-hmm. Then they build this Tendo to become that CEO with the qualities that you need as a CEO. Mm-hmm. And this means it needs effort, it needs persistency, it needs kindness, It needs a lot of monitoring. It needs a lot of coaching. And those are things that parents are not putting time into. They just want a well-behaved child as if they're falling from heaven. There's nothing like that.
You have to make the
Yes,
child
you have to
that
make
way.
the children, yeah.
Now, it's interesting, you said that before people have children, you know, what is their plan? But in the world today, if we're to be very honest, a lot of people aren't planning. They just have children. Sometimes you have single mothers. Maybe they just decided to go ahead and have a baby, or unfortunately things with the father of the child didn't work out. And being a single parent is a lot harder as well. What do you do if, okay, fine, you didn't have a plan beforehand, but this is where you find yourself and you are a parent now?
Yes, it doesn't matter whether you're a single mom or married mom, whatever you are, you can still have a plan for your child. Okay? And that's where parents make mistakes. Successful parents make parenting deliberate, you know, and they make it intentional. They know exactly what kind of child, whether they are being raised in a two-parent home or a single-parent home. Parenting is intentional. It's on purpose. You know, they see the end product before actually it becomes the end product. And here we're not talking about how bright or talented a child is, but the effort, because I'm telling you, many children, we see them playing and music instruments, it's not that they are super talented, it's because their parents are nurturing them, encouraging them, putting their time into them to become those kind of people. But we find that today, parents don't put in that effort in children. You know, they are pursuing money, pursuing, both parents are studying and coming back at 10 p.m. at home, you know. And all they come for themselves that they've paid for a child in an international school or a very expensive school. It doesn't matter at all. Children need presence.
Yes.
They learn spontaneously what they see their parents doing, you know, as well as learning in a scheduled environment. You know, so at home gives children an opportunity to learn spontaneously without really being in the classroom. They learn by observing, they learn by experimenting, they learn by listening to their parents, you know, in a different kind of setting, because home itself is a school, and parents should know that. Actually,
It's the first school.
It's the first school, and it's a major school. You know, so there are two types of school, and parents, if you change your thinking, and you tell yourself, if my home is a school, what am I teaching in this home? Or am I actually teaching in this home? Are there teaching aids in this school? Am I modeling in this school? Is there peer modeling in this school? You have to ask yourself all those aspects to see if the home has those kind of aspects.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
You're welcome.
One of our goals is to break the cycle of violence. We need to stop it.
Yes.
And I guess if it begins at home, then we'll definitely be on the right track.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you, Crystal.
We have talked about parenting today, and now you know what you need to do to be a good parent. It can be overwhelming. It can be scary. You can make mistakes. That's okay. You're a human being. You're an adult. It does not mean that you don't make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I have to find a way to stop what I was doing and do something better. Thank you for watching. Join us next time. Bye-bye.